Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Campaign's breakfast briefing event on The Future Is Now. It's a packed house, and it's nice to see everyone back after a few months of a short break at Campaign's first event for the second half of this year. In case you're still wondering who I am, this is Nadeem Qureshi, the publisher at Campaign Middle East. Before we get on with today's event, I wanted to brief everyone on our plans for the second half of the year, as well as introduce you to someone special. Campaign Middle East has a new editor who joined us in the beginning of summer. I would like to introduce everyone to Anoop Oman, who replaces our now ex-editor Justin. A former Reuters and Arabian business journalist, Anoop brings more than 15 years of experience on reporting across print, digital, and new media. He will speak shortly and will take the event forward. Right, on your tables, we have the most recently published campaign issue on women in advertising. These are women on various leadership positions within the field of advertising, sharing their open and honest take on how the needle has moved on DE&I within the industry. The issue also shares a comprehensive directory highlighting the region's top PR events and experiential agencies, as well as industry viewpoints of top leaders in the region. Our next couple of campaign editions in this year focus on key topics like e-commerce, digital transformation, production houses, the MENA Power List, out of home, the region's top marketing game changers, sustainability, ethical marketing, the digital essays, and finally, the annual roundup issue of the year in December. Please get in touch with editorial and commercial teams if you want to get involved. Our next event, Campaign Saudi Briefing, is going to be held at Sheraton Riyadh Hotel on the 17th of October next month. This will cover the key topics in media and marketing in Saudi this year. We have already finalized the panels and the partners for this event, but still reach out to us if you want to be involved. Still on Saudi, as you're aware, the second edition of the Athar Festival, Saudi's meeting place for the creative marketing community and where Saudi creativity belongs, will take place on the 5th and 6th of November in Riyadh. The festival will host global and regional speakers, as you can see on your tables. This year, apart from the content sessions across 2 stages and 2 days, the Athar Festival is giving delegate access to multiple networking zones, master classes, access to the official festival app, networking lunch on both the days, welcome reception on day 1, and festival bags that include a smart networking card with tap-in network features to enhance your festival experience. Let's take a look at the Athar 2024 video. Early bird for festival passes and award seats are now live. As a special gesture to all our attendees today, the Athar team has graciously extended a 20% off on all passes purchased by everyone in this room until midnight today. You can use the code on the screens or behind me and also on each of your tables to get this discount. Again, this is valid only for today and only for the campaign briefing guests that we have in-house. So take advantage of this. And I'm sure a lot of people will ask me this discount afterwards as well. But then take advantage of this right now. If you would like to find out more about the various other initiatives of Athar, please feel free to reach out to the team present here. We've got Ghassan, Kamil, and Fardeen right there. And they'll be happy to assist you. And you can also visit the atharfestival.com website. Now back to campaign. We are hosting the 3rd edition of the Campaign Middle East Agency of the Year Awards on 12th of December at the Western Mina CI, Dubai. As you're aware, our Agency of the Year Awards focuses on the agency business success, that is year-on-year growth, financial achievements, agency culture, diversity, and the people and the teams driving this forward. So if you think you have a financially successful agency model and the right team, you stand to win big at our awards, but only if you enter. Here's a short video on the success we had last year. The entries are now open till 26 September for the Agency of the Year Middle East Awards. For more information, you can reach out to Tarun, there he is, and the events for all events, partnerships, and inquiries with Campaign. Coming back to our campaign event today, we would like to thank all the partners for supporting us for our event. Our gold sponsors are MIQ, Pixis, and Publicis Group. You will hear more from them as the day progresses. Our associate sponsor is Shield, and here's a short video about them too. So we have all the latest news on our websites, social media platforms, and weekly newsletters, so please don't forget to subscribe and follow us to get our latest updates on all our future events, awards, podcasts, job portals, and upcoming directories, and our special and print digital editions. Please also scan the QR code on the agenda papers in front of you to send us your valuable feedback so we can work with our partners for much stronger content. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all at our next Saudi event next month on the 17th of October in Riyadh. Right. I will now hand over the stage to Campaign's new editor, Anup Oman, who will take today's event forward. Please give a warm welcome to our new editor, and as he slowly walks up, here's a short video on Campaign Middle East Publisher Motivate Media Group, which is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. Over to you, Anup.
It's now widely believed that communication was the key advantage which allowed our early human ancestors to rise above their evolutionary competitors.
It is up to you to carry this message to my spies in Lilliput.
The ability to tell stories, it seems, has always been at the core of what it means to be human. And as the millennia passed, our methods and tools of communication became ever more sophisticated, expanding our search for purpose and connection. And to ultimately discover what's on. But we had to wait until June of 1979 before we got our answer.
And your host today, Ian Fairservice. Thank you very much indeed.
This is when the UAE witnessed the birth of a new communication dynasty with the launch of What's On, the Gulf's first English magazine, and with it, the first stone of what was to become the Motivate Media Group was laid.
Welcome to Motivate Publishing.
In the 45-year journey between then and now, Motivate has never wavered from its path of evolution and innovation. From print to digital, from local to global, from events to festivals, from cinema advertising to influencer agencies, from book publishing to podcasts. In-flight magazines, joint ventures, content creation, surface aerials, corporate partnerships, talent representation, and celebrity collaborations. We've been in good company along the way. We've stood on stage and celebrated the best of the region at our grandstand industry-defining award ceremonies. We've grown our family, expanded our reach, and to you, our combined audience of millions, we say thank you for being a part of this story. Our mission is, and always has been, to inspire, to create conversation, challenge convention, to communicate, innovate, and motivate, always striding forward, always in reverence of the past. But what does the future hold? We can't wait to show you. And we'll be there every step of the way, ready to keep you motivated for what's on the horizon.
We should take those claps back to whoever made that video. Yeah. Inspirational and motivational marhaba, and very good morning to all of you, our extended Campaign Middle East family. On behalf of this incredible publication, it's my honor and privilege to welcome each and every one of you, our speakers, moderators, panelists, delegates, colleagues, and partners to this, the 2024 iteration of the Campaign Middle East Breakfast Briefing, The Future is Now. Although I've had the pleasure to meet many of you face to face already, over coffee, meals, lunches, very tasty lunches, and have received a hope that finds you well email from a few of you, let me take this opportunity to formally introduce myself. I'm Anup Omin, the now editor of Campaign Middle East, and for some reason I needed to read that off a piece of paper. And it's a joy to host all of you here for a morning of networking, collaborating, engaging with ideas, learning, and brainstorming together. Today, in this edition of Campaign Breakfast Briefing, The Future is Now, we will be discussing a few futuristic themes, so to speak, that are claiming their spot in the limelight here and now. We will begin very soon with a keynote presentation from Wasim Nemne, the Managing Director, MIQ Minat, on the future of digital advertising. After that, we move into a panel discussion on the holistic search advertising. Our second panel for the day will address this big elephant in the room that all of us love talking about, artificial intelligence, AI, and how that can genuinely help digital marketers improve performance. But before I give too much away, it's important to take cognizance of where we currently stand. Over the past few months, I've had the pleasure of having on-the-record and off-the-record conversations with many of the movers and shakers within the industry, both from the brand side, the client side, as well as from the agency side, both with big network agencies and with independents, including creative media, digital PR comms, and the likes. Cutting through the noise of generic content, many of you have helped dissect very key trends and pain points within the industry, right from Google's third-party cookie pendulum, leveraging first-party data and clean rooms, the very real concerns around brand safety and ad fraud, the move towards better pricing models, better outcome models, the shift from not just creativity, but to creative effectiveness, actually having an impact on campaigns, right? The move towards measurement and metrics that brands are so desperately asking for, opportunities within connected TV, brand integrations, omnichannel, and the likes. I could go on. But what's important is the combination of these buzzwords like AR, VR, MR, and the likes with the very foundational marketing principles of creating value, human connection, communities, and powerful narratives, powerful storytelling. With GenAI sneaking its way into almost every conversation, we're looking at some brands and agencies that are running, so to speak, on steroids, while others are busy trying to play catch-up, citing either budgets or a lack of skills, or arguing the need for a more human touch in an AI world. AI, on one hand, seems to be supercharging copy and creatives, while it's also boosting engagement and CTR across marketing channels, enabling quicker and more accurate targeting, and orchestrating real-time campaign performance optimization. That said, for an industry that's in constant flux, here's another hard truth. Many agencies, brands are still in the exploration phase. Many marketers are still experimenting and changing strategies, trying to find what works best. What does this mean? This means that budgets, effort, time, skills, and creativity will always continue dominating conversations, especially when brands and clients raise the real questions, such as, how can cutting-edge technologies such as AI, for example, and analytics be actually used to acquire new customers, guarantee brand loyalty, and retain current customers? This also means truly understanding the evolution of search and user behavior in an era characterized by a shift from simple text-based searches on isolated desktop-only search engines to a multifaceted ecosystem that spans various devices, platforms, and content formats. Today's users expect, demand even, extremely personalized, real-time, and contextually relevant information, and frequently employ search such as voice, visual, and AI-driven assistants such as Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. This rise of mobile search, local search, and the use of AI-powered algorithms demand that brands conduct continuous optimization and adapt their strategies accordingly. These conversations have now reached critical mass. They've reached a boiling point for those looking to stay ahead of the curve, especially in terms of pricing, positioning, differentiation, and distinctiveness. We have moved far past the speculative, hypothetical water cooler conversations to having very serious conversations within the boardrooms about bringing future-focused technologies to the here and now. That's why we're here. Through this event, the future is now. We're hoping to change the perspective, showcasing why we're not just living in the worst of times. It's easy to complain about all that's going wrong, but instead, we're heralding the best of times through untapped opportunities. We're here, very honestly, to learn from each other, pick each other's brains, understand how our top leaders in the industry making it work, hear their open and honest opinions, figure out the top takeaways that we can take back and actually implement in our day-to-day lives. Once again, thank you for joining us here today and hope you are as excited about the conversations as I am. Now comes the fun part, right? From what I hear, there are some competitions as well that are worth talking about because there's a 65-inch television and a PS5 up for grabs today, only for those in the room. How do you win these? Now that's a great question. There's a QR code printed on your tables. There's a QR code printed on a leaflet that's on your table and a QR code that's on a standee on your table. All you need to do is scan that QR code, answer a few questions. I like the fact that people are picking it up already. I was hoping that I would be the only one who would vie for this PS5 today, but it's good. So if you already have a 65-inch TV, I can tell you it makes for a great gift. And if you're looking for someone to gift it to, right. So scan those QR codes, get part of the competition, and we will be announcing the winners right at the end after the keynote and the panel discussions. Now, without further ado, shall we dive straight into it? It's my pleasure to welcome on stage our keynote speaker for the day, Wasim Nemne, the Managing Director of MIQ MENAT, who will take us on a journey into the future of digital advertising, which I've been told has already arrived. As we welcome Wasim to the stage, we will be playing a short video on MIQ. Thank you, everyone.
Sometimes you only notice average when you see something better. A normal burger doesn't stack up to a triple XL with extra everything. Ice cream is just vanilla without a juicy cherry on top. Standard flowers droop next to a blooming bouquet. It can be the same with programmatic. Even though it's damaging to brands, average programmatic is what most partners offer. And don't you deserve better? You need a partner with tech that puts you first. Insights that help you exceed every target. Traders that over-deliver on quality and performance. That's what you get at MIQ. We're leading the programmatic industry and making it better. Our technology connects the best data, supply, and partners without bias and puts sophisticated AI in the hands of our industry experts. It means we always achieve top-tier performance on your programmatic campaigns. We surpass benchmarks, which means you get better, higher quality outcomes. At MIQ, the best of the best is our standard, not your average programmatic.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for watching the video, which is definitely not a sales pitch. The video is basically for anyone who doesn't know who MIQ are, excuse me, and what we do. The sales pitch comes in later in the presentation. Just jokes. Sorry. So for those who don't know me, although I see a lot of familiar faces, my name is Wasim Naimni, and I'm the Managing Director of MIQ, covering the MENAT region. It's such a pleasure to be presenting to you today, industry experts such as yourselves, MIQ's point of view, so I'm not going to keep walking here, MIQ's point of view around the future of digital advertising. When I think of, when we're seeing a lot of headlines lately, big things happening, good and bad, and it's actually happening at a very kind of accelerated speed. So when I think of the future, and Anoop said it perfectly, I feel this. It's the best of times, where it's futuristic, utopia, right? Flying cars, unmanned machines, towers hitting the sky, and recently towers coming down from the sky, hanging out of an asteroid. The best example of the future and the best place that embodies the future is actually Dubai when you think about it. And also the worst of times, Skynet is upon us. And for anyone who doesn't know Skynet, this is a movie reference. Some people, no one watches TV unless you're a millennial. Gen Zs, probably Gen Alphas, no idea. But Skynet is a bad thing. It's not a good thing. The future simultaneously fills me in with, the future simultaneously fills me in with positivity, surging positivity, and intense dread at the same time. And this is true on the broader world that we live in, but it's also applicable on the addressable advertising world that we work in. We always worry about the future. It's human nature, right? Everyone is worried about the future. And the main reason this is largely because what we want in the future, this is largely because when we're scared, because the future means change. And change is inevitable. Change that is disruptive, and change is accelerating at a really high speed. Now, where do we stand with this? This kind of fear of change. When change comes, change brings in new opportunities as well for us. Today I'm going to be taking you through 3 different themes: data, TV and YouTube, and obviously AI, when we're talking about the future. I know these themes are quite familiar for you guys, but I hope I can provide you with new perspective around each today. You need to give me a second because my laptop turned off. All right, so let's jump into the first big theme that we have, data. There's nowhere that the worst of times, best of times paradox fit perfectly than here. Data. 95% of brands are saying that they're going to be losing signals, more signals and identifiers in the coming years. And the reason is, it's not that because we don't have data or there's a lack of data. In fact, we actually have more data than we ever had before. So what's the catch? Data is scattered. It's everywhere. So imagine you're trying to gather confetti after the New Year's party. It's literally impossible. You see, data is becoming decentralized by design, right? Data is all over the place. We started off, and there are forces at play when we're talking about data. Cookieless. Everyone was worried when we heard the word cookieless. My kids were worried, but for completely different reasons. I promised myself not to joke a lot. But with cookieless, with the idea of cookieless, people are more, it worried people, right? That is the change that is coming. Cookieless is coming. Privacy Sandbox. Say hello to Privacy Sandbox. So what Privacy Sandbox does is it essentially locks your data, locks the data in each user's device, instead of having the data floating in the cloud like a lost balloon, right? So it's keeping it private and safe for you. Then we have data clean rooms. So data clean rooms is a quick example as an FMCG brand and a hypermarket where they have their first-party data. They'll throw that in a data clean room with almost no fear of having any data leakage and gather insights that they cannot gather by their own selves, but with their own first-party data. And last but not least, you also have curated deals, what we call it database targeted deals, right? This is where first-party data owner, they sell They sell their first-party data instead of just handing it out like Halloween candy. But this keeps data as really decentralized. It's really fragmented. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle and the pieces are scattered around the universe. It makes it harder for us to use and more expensive. But now let's shift gears to the good side of things. When we're talking about data, there is a good side if you look at all this data chaos of the world that we live in. Thanks to the advancement in privacy and technology, we now have access to more high-quality data than ever before. This data fuels our campaigns and your campaigns, making them more addressable, more precise, and ultimately more effective. I want to start off with taking an example about retail media, right? What's the good side? What are we having when we spoke about privacy, curated deals, and clean rooms? At MIQ, we've signed up with around more than 200 retail media networks worldwide, and that number is growing every week. These networks are built on solid foundations of data clean rooms and curated deals. And that gives us access to transactional level data that has never been seen before. Then you also bring back the Privacy Sandbox. So Privacy Sandbox has gotten a lot of negative press lately. Not lately, literally since it began, there's a lot of negative press around it. But guess what? It actually works. So at MIQ, we actually integrated with the Sandbox Attribution API earlier this year. And we're tracking more than half a million conversion every single day through Sandbox. And this does not only work, but it also keeps your data private and secure. And this is something I believe we need to celebrate in a way, and we should be excited about, because our data is literally out there. No matter how much we're trying to keep it private, the data is available for anyone. And finally, when we're talking about data, let's talk about TV. Okay, so one thing is clear. We're witnessing an explosion of data of TV signals. And thanks to that is thanks to the growth of smart TVs and the introduction of video streaming platforms and so on. Last year, we processed around 600 trillion TV signals. Trillion. I lose count after a billion. But TV content signals are giving us so much better in terms of higher quality data, higher approach to the target that we're going to the target audience that we want to reach. And this year, the number that you're seeing at 600 trillion is definitely going to be higher. So while the landscape is changing, yes, we have more data. Yes, we have better data than ever before. The key is to leverage it in a smart way, an efficient way, and in a privacy matter way in order to unlock its full potential. Now, let's jump off from data to TV. TV is big in our region. We keep talking about TV. In the UAE, we're seeing high demands. We're seeing a lot, not just the UAE, the GCC, we're seeing a lot of high demand when it comes to video streaming platform, particularly among tech-savvy consumers. So CTV is absolutely poised for a significant growth in our region. We haven't hit CTV yet the way it should be. CTV should have been much more mature in our region in the last 3 years, but we will get there. But with the growth of CTV, it actually gives us the opportunity to tackle a massive issue. Globally, our data revealed that 20% of the TV viewers are receiving up to 80%, up to 70% of the TV budgets. This is a massive inefficiency issue, while the other 80% barely get any exposure at all. And why? Simply put, some people watch more TV than others. Taking the reference of Skynet, some people would not know what Skynet is because some people do watch TV more than others. And this creates a multi-billion-dollar efficiency in the industry. On one hand, you have viewers that are getting bombarded by ads to the level of frustration and getting bored. For anyone who's been in Dubai for a while, say Travago, and 15 years ago it was Sidar curtains, where we've just been bombarded with those TV ads. And on the other hand, you have a large segment of population with little and no ad recall, to no ad recall. Now here where it gets more complex as well. So while boomers are glued to their TV, we're missing out on the Gen Alpha, Millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X. We're missing out on reaching to that audience. These audiences are slipping through the cracks. And unless we improve our TV intelligence and budget allocations in this region and even globally, we're leaving significant value on the table of wasted investment and missed opportunities. That was the bad side of TV. Now, when we talk about the positive side of TV, we're getting better TV data every single day, which is helping us understand audience behavior more clearly. In parallel, there's a rapidly growing supply of streaming TV inventory in the region, and this is where it gets exciting. When you buy inventory programmatically, we unlock powerful capabilities. For starters, we can apply frequency capping. We don't have to bombard our users. We can also steer budgets towards targeting specific apps, regions, and even particular audience segments that may have been missed by traditional linear TV. So this approach allows us to run campaigns that are highly complementary to legacy linear TV. Now, to put things into perspective, one of our DSPs provided a benchmark. Whoa, I need to go really quick. One of our DSPs provided a benchmark where it showed that we had 88% lower cost per unique household reached than their average. 88%. And this is not just MIQ, this is anyone who has the possibility to tap into TV technology. And we're reducing overlap between the audience, between linear TV and CTV by just to 1.3%. And this is massive. This provides massive solutions within the TV and CTV industry, but it also helps the campaigns become highly incremental. And it's important to acknowledge that CTV inventory in this region is not where we want it to be, right? So let's have a look at what YouTube, because we don't have that much CTV, YouTube is our biggest video platform. So let's have a look at where YouTube could cover this gap in a way. So it goes without saying, right? YouTube is your biggest video platform, and it goes without saying, it's your biggest video platform. But when you think about YouTube as well, when you think about YouTube just as a video platform, you need to think about it as a social platform. And in many ways it is. User-generated content, comments, likes, sharing, sub-communities. It's a full social platform, right? And the users are spending hours. On average, 1 hour in this region is being spent by users. And this region has the highest penetration of YouTube users compared to globally as well. Users are not just logging in, they're spending time on YouTube. They're spending an average of an hour like you see. And it's spread across the day, across multiple devices. And when you look at the percentage of 18 plus, the penetration is insanely high on YouTube. So it gives you the opportunity to tackle these audiences. And when you look deeper into the MENA insights, you see the unique opportunity to actually virtually reach every person on YouTube. This is a level of reach that's unmatched by any other platform, to be honest. And you don't only use YouTube to cover the CTV side of things. YouTube needs to be used along with a massive tech stack that supports your campaign on YouTube and that pushes brand safety, knowing the right channels, understanding what insights from competitors, what our competitors are doing. And this is similar to technologies such as So you have technology sets as Pixies that support this. You have technology sets as Pixability that support us as well. And lastly, let's move into AI, my favorite. AI is the biggest buzzword in 23 and 24, right? What's going to happen? Everyone's worried about AI. A lot is being said, but same as the internet and mobile and the smartphones, AI is a consumer and a business platform that's just waiting to happen, waiting to explode. But also like the internet and the smartphones, AI will create and it will destroy. So one example of the threats that we got is independent publishers. There are so many threats that we're thinking of. When AI started, everyone was saying content creators are gonna, content writers, press, everyone's gonna lose their jobs. But when you're looking at our industry, a prominent publisher said that Google's AI overview will make them lose around 20 to 40% in revenue because people are just looking at the overview. But the overview is still not perfect. I love this example, which I got. The overview also recommended that you can have one piece of rock a day because it provides vitamins and minerals. And it also said that some people say you don't have to eat rocks. So it's still not there, right? There's a still long way for this to go. But if Google doesn't solve these issues, some other search engine is gonna come and take over and provide solutions for this. And eventually, publishers need to adapt from this. I also got one, which is cardio, that was recommending me to run with scissors in my hand. I swear, like these are actual results. So at the same time, when you look at the bad side of things, you look at the best side of things. So Google AI could be the answer to all of our problems. We've already spoken about signal loss and identifiers, right? So at the moment, what we're doing is that we're using AI to solve our data decentralization issue. So for example, we're taking tens of thousands of curated deals and contextual segments across our ecosystem and grouping them into a single efficient buy for our traders. So they just can log in, buy what they need through these curated deals, through these contextual segments. It's as simple as possible, and it provides hundreds of targeting options for our clients across the SPs and SSPs. We're also finding that large language models, such as GPT-4, are much more accurate at around 60% than the previous NLP model, right? It's helping us solve TV efficiency problem as well. So you take YouTube, for example. Now we use large language models to classify 250,000 YouTube channels in order to get 200 unique attributes that can be combined to make an advanced persona. Again, GenAI can do this faster than any other legacy approaches that we've been using. Despite the really cool advances with AI, I'm pretty sure everyone is interested in having AI do the car, do the laundry, wash the car, and other household items. We're not there yet, but I'm gonna keep holding to it, hopefully. If you have kids, you'll know what I mean. This is just shameless marketing about MIQ, but this is just to give you an idea of the data that we get. When we're running globally around 14,000 campaigns, 8,000 brands, this is not only where we get our insights. The heartbeat of MIQ is called the Center of Excellence, where we have 500 amazing individuals that works as engineers, analysts, and data scientists. Based out of Bangalore, this is the heartbeat of MIQ. This is where we get our insights. This is where we get everything we need. This is where we build the tech that we use and the tech that we build for our clients as well. Lastly, I'll leave you with the best of times and the worst of times. The future is ever evolving. The future is always changing. All we need to do is be adaptable. And you need to keep in mind the only constant is change, but change now is happening at 100 miles an hour. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Wasim. Thank you for that dive into data signals, leveraging data in a way that we can actually unlock its full potential, the growing opportunity for connected TV and YouTube, and the destroyer and creator that is AI. Once again, a gentle reminder, because I've got my eyes and ears and brain still stuck on that PS5 and smart TV, so if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't scanned that QR code yet, now is as good a time as any. Next up, we have a panel on holistic search advertising brought to you by Publicis Group. Before we invite the moderator and panelists on stage, here's a short video of Publicis Group. Wonderful. Now you know who they are. It's my pleasure to welcome onto the stage our moderator for the day, Vanessa Abe-Faris, the performance media agency lead, Mina at Publicis Media Zenith. Joining her on stage will be Marie Dedukla, sales lead, retail, travel, government, consumer goods, and services at Google Ads. You can start coming up one by one. Perfect. As I call your names, we also have Richard Hartley, head of paid search, Publicis Media, Utko Hazdemir, head of digital, Nestle Mina, and Wasim Al-Jamal, head of agency development, Minat at Amazon Ads. This should be an interesting one. Vanessa, over to you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a great start to your Friday. Super excited for our panel today and the insights that we'll be sharing. Our discussion will, yes, revolve around holistic search or search advertising and its evolution into what now has become known as holistic search. Some of you may be familiar with what holistic search is. Others may be wondering, what does that really mean and why are we actually talking about it today? So fact is, years back when we used to say search or user searching online, it was mostly revolving around users typing in their queries within search engines. And then, from an advertising perspective, you had to have the right keywords, an intriguing ad copy, and a couple of extensions, and you were killing it. But obviously that changed a lot over the years with smart solutions and with technology, and now with the evolution of how consumers are behaving, of how users are behaving, it's way more complex than that. So what have been those key user behavior changes, and how has search really evolved? And what does that mean from a brand perspective and its implications? These are some of the questions that we'll be answering today. Obviously, it won't be me sharing those insights. I'm super excited to be joined by our esteemed panelists, leaders within the industry with years of experience and expertise. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'll first start with understanding how consumers have evolved and their behaviors. And Marie, I'll start with you. If you could please tell us more about what are those key behavioral shifts and how are they impacting search today?
Thank you, Vanessa. So first of all, there are things that have not changed. So people are still searching. Yeah, we are at Google sending billions of traffic or users to websites, to mobile sites, to apps, whether it is on Google search or on YouTube search, etc. So this has not changed. What has not changed as well is the curiosity of human beings. Yes, we are all very curious, and we continue to be. And we are amazed that every day, we see 15% of the search queries to our search engine that have never been asked by any other human being before. So now each time you're going to type, you're going to say, maybe I'm the one asking a question that nobody had thought about before. And this has been the case for 10 years. So a decade of new queries that we've never seen before. So that's amazing. Creativity of human beings is going to continue. And now what is changing? So what is changing is that people now are searching in many different ways, on many different platforms. As I said, they are searching on video, like on YouTube, we see a lot of people searching. They are searching on images, they are searching on maps, they are searching everywhere. And they are also searching in different ways, like with voice, I said it in images. Images, it's so incredible because, for example, we are seeing 12 billion queries a month on Google Lens. So people searching with their phone, with their image, and this is a fourfold increase from just 2 years ago. So it's really growing very rapidly. So we all know that the the way human beings search is not linear. The user journey is not linear, it's very complex. And I can just as an example, remember the last time you purchased something a little bit complex, like let's say a coffee machine, since we have a Nestle in the room. You remember, I'm sure, that you were going back and forth between the retailer website, the search, the video with people explaining the differences between coffee machines. Maybe you also ask your friends. That's what I did as well. Yeah, so that's what is changing and not changing.
Yeah, thanks for that. I can relate to the coffee machine example. We tried to buy a coffee machine last month. I've spent weeks searching across so many different platforms, and my husband went ahead and bought a red one last minute. So it turned out nicely. So yeah, definitely a lot of changes. And obviously on Amazon, that's also been booming over the last couple of years. So Wasim, what would you say are the key behavioral changes on Amazon and how users are interacting with the platform?
For sure, Vanessa. I mean, since the launch of Amazon search in the region, we've seen a massive shift in consumer behavior. What started as an e-commerce, e-retailer search bar has become an essential search engine for customers to be inspired about products and brands. And like, who from us haven't opened the Amazon app to purchase a certain product and you ended up adding so many other products to their cart? I think my wife would have a lot to talk about this. But really, even according to eMarketer, 85% actually of Amazon shoppers are coming to Amazon to be inspired and to discover new products. And that helped our brands and our vendors and sellers to leverage our proposition differently, right? Let's take beauty, for example. Customers currently come to Amazon to look for ingredients versus products or brands. Glycolic acid, vitamin C serum. And these kind of insights are extremely important to us because 90% of the customers who come on Amazon start their journey on Amazon from the search bar. So as a customer-obsessed company, this helped us evolve our search proposition to move beyond just promoting a certain product, to promoting multiple brands and products, to enabling video as part of our search proposition to cater to these needs. And finally, we spoke about the evolution of the customer, how our proposition has evolved, but as well with the growth of the Amazon users in the region. As we had as well, we started seeing brands to leverage Amazon search to go beyond just conversions, but to deliver on their upper funnel metrics like branding and considerations. And what I'd like to add at the end, I think what we see finally, it's becoming more of a platform for brands to engage with their customers, to let them more learn about their products, and most importantly, to inspire them.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously with all of these consumer shifts, that's had a huge impact on brands and how they also are able to reach those users. So Utku, from Nestle's perspective, I know holistic search has been a huge topic for you. What has all of these consumer shifts meant to you, and what are the implications, and how have you been approaching it?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Vanessa. I think the consumer shifts highlighted by my colleagues and primarily driven by AI in the search landscape will have significant implications for the brands. And now please let me elaborate on this, and please let me summarize some of the key takeaways and shed light on how Nestle is adapting its search approach to accommodate these changes. So first of all, as you mentioned in your introduction part, Nestle MENA is adopting is adopting a holistic search strategy, which is encompassing search engine optimization, search engine marketing, and e-retail search strategies. And I think this integrated or this holistic approach optimizes all the aspects of brands' online presence to maximize visibility, engagement, and conversions across the search engines and e-retail platforms. And Semina is leveraging the power of AI to gather, to collect, and analyze the vast amount of consumer data. And this allows us to gain deeper understanding into the ever-changing consumer behavior and preferences. And this also informs our search strategies and ultimately helps us to deliver more targeted, more personalized, and relevant campaigns. So we talked about voice search. I think it's also important, and this is an area that we started to invest upon. And I think we already have adapted our search optimization strategies to accommodate the emergence of voice search. And by incorporating all these conversational long-tail keywords, thanks to your support, thanks to the support of our agency, into our keyword strategies, so we ensure that our products and information are easily discoverable by the voice assistants. We also use automation and machine learning algorithms capabilities for optimizing our search campaigns by automating the bidding, by optimizing our ad performance, and by leveraging predictive analytics. I think Semina increases return on ad spend and return on investment, and we also deliver timely and more relevant search ads. And finally, circling back to the Amazon discussion, I think in the context of the JBP that we signed off with Amazon, we also capitalized on the opportunity of embracing or adopting Amazon North Star excellence principles, and we completely restructured our ad accounts. And this involves many things, such as maximizing our presence through different ad types or campaign types, such as sponsored products, brands, display and video. So we expanded our keyword coverage. So we invest upon the right ASINs on Amazon, and we also adopt appropriate, let's say, bidding strategies. And finally, the most important one is so we secure higher investments, especially during the peak seasons, such as Prime Day or White Friday or back to school and Ramadan, which is quite important for us, so that we can capitalize on higher search volumes and sales.
Yeah, thanks for that, Utku. Definitely a lot of work that has really showed the value it brings. And now, Richard, from an agency perspective, so how's Publicis been approaching this, and how have we been catering to our clients?
Sure. So yeah, I'm really glad that this conversation is coming back up again about holistic search, and I think it's because there is so many different ways that people can search, not just within Google nowadays, image and text and whatever, but also other platforms. I guess ChatGPT prompts people are now comfortable using. That's being obviously built into SGE and Google soon. People are going to TikTok and whatever else as a platform for information as well. So I guess that means the least that we can do on the Google search engine type front is to have a holistic approach to organic and paid search. And the way we do this is just, as a starting point, as like an operational point, just getting it into the same interface, into an interface that we've got that data that we can then look at and analyze and potentially automate from is the best first step. So we've got tools that take that information, your SEO data, your paid search data, put it into an interface together, and then we can just start making decisions on it. And I think that's the starting point for innovation. It's like having the data, having it in front of us, seeing what we can do with it. Can we, start to pause paid search keywords when we're showing high up organically? On the other side, if we're performing really well on paid search, can we then create content for SEO so that we can then rank organically there, and then automate the turning off of those keywords when that ranking starts to show high up the page? So it's just now a given now that our clients, I think, expect that, but also it's not just our job to create the technology to be able to do that, it's our job as well to create the strategy behind it and that innovation so that we can start to, do the kind of fun tests that are the best part of my job, actually, creating those innovations that, create a test, do something new, get a great result, and, keep doing that for that client and then rolling it out to other clients as well. So it's a great opportunity, I think, for us, as an agency.
Yeah, I think definitely having these integrated teams has been key. And you touched upon content, and I think, Marie, so obviously having the client's websites be optimized, whether it's from technical perspective or the content that they create, how important would you say this is for a brand, and how can brands really unlock value from having the right websites and the right content?
Yeah, so having the right asset today online, I would not limit it to a brand website. Brand website is great. It could be an app. It could be YouTube channel, other channels elsewhere. It could be anything that is relevant in the very complex, customer journey that we are seeing today, that we were describing, going back and forth into so many different platforms. And I think, yes, it's super important to optimize it. It's not just important, it's critical. And at many different stages of the consumer journey. It could be at the stage of intent, when people are actually searching for you, or they really need something that your brand can provide. And so you want to be there at this point of intent. It's part of the discoverability. And it can be as well as the point of, they are already your customers and you can help them use your products much better, understand it, expand their way of using it, using more often, etc. So this is so important. But as consumers are becoming multimodal, we discussed that in the, when I explained the new ways of searching, of looking for information, etc. It's also important that brands are multimodal. And Maggie from Nestlé is actually a very good example. With the richness of their content, from stories, recipes, interactive content, whether it's on their brand website or on the YouTube channel or elsewhere. So this is kind of a very, very good example. And why is it so important? It's important because we need to remember that if e-commerce is booming, and it is, and it's going to continue to boom, for consumer goods, we still have a staggering 92% of the sales that are made offline. And so when people have you top of mind because you've been there on their journey online, and people spend a lot of time online, we all spend a lot of time online, or when we are in this critical moment of purchasing offline, they're going to have your brand top of mind. And that's what you want. You want these sales offline, these very important sales.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just as optimizing your own channels and capitalizing on them is important. Obviously, we're seeing from a retail perspective, it's really important to be retail ready. So what would you say are the key elements that brands should be focusing on? And do you currently see brands facing a challenge when it comes to this?
Spot on, Vanessa. Being retail ready is an integral part for the success of search campaigns on Amazon. Like, this is the base from which our algorithm starts, right? We spoke about customers are coming to the platform to get inspired and to discover new products. So being retail ready is extremely important for brands to be able to appeal to their customers. And by retail ready, I mean having an optimized brand store. It's the place where the customers come to explore the variety of your products and the things that you want to offer. Having an optimized product page, it's literally where a decision is being taken. Am I adding this product to cart or am I not? Do I have the optimized or the right headlines? Am I having enough description for my products on that page, enough images? For high engagement categories like baby and beauty, A+ content is extremely important, for example. And just like the traditional search, making sure I have the proper pricing, am I doing enough promotions? And most importantly, is my product in stock? Because if it's not in stock, your search campaigns are automatically going to pause, right? Now, are we facing difficulty? Of course, at the beginning, it was extremely difficult, but I think we've went definitely a long way with the help of technology, and agencies are playing a key role in this by adding retail readiness as part of their commerce offering. So I guess we've definitely become in a much better place, but with more vendors and sellers adding their listings on Amazon, I think we do have a long way to go, but with technology, I think we're going to get there faster.
Yeah, I think definitely brands have come a long way, and we've seen improvements on that front. Utku, from a Nestlé perspective, how have you been approaching this? What work have you been focusing on?
Yeah. Thanks, Vanessa. So I think at Nestlé, we implemented a comprehensive and robust content optimization strategy across all the brands, and I want to split this into two. For transaction website, in our own terminology, direct-to-consumer websites, we mainly focus on or prioritize mapping out the consumer journeys and optimizing the consumer journeys so that we can deliver seamless user experiences to increase sales conversion and to foster consumer loyalty. For non-transactional websites, where we mainly focus on the upper funnel, so we mainly focus on informative, educative, or engaging website content so that we can build brand awareness and maximize consumer engagement. And we are also, so one side doesn't fit all. So we are also striving for adapting our strategies so that we can cater to the varying needs and expectations of different brands. And in collaboration, in great collaboration, I would say, with the Publicis Group and with Google, we developed 3 scalable search frameworks powered by AI, namely direct-to-consumer, lead generation, or site registration, and website engagement. And we fully transitioned from a manual Google Ads setup to a fully automated, holistic account structure. And this includes leveraging on smart bidding, informing the search algorithms with first-party audience signals, giving or delivering more relevant messages through responsive search ads, and finally, which was an easy decision for us, shifting from phrase and exact match keywords to bold match keywords. And I would say the performance is great so far across all the brands, and we are either meeting or exceeding our key performance targets on SEM. When it comes to Amazon, and as you well know, it's a global and so it's our strategic e-retailer partner for us, and we know that they have advanced product e-content capabilities, and our priority, our focus is to enhance and to maintain high e-merchandising standards across product e-content and the brand stores. And we mainly rely on product e-content playbooks that we develop at the global scale for our global and regional brands, and this includes many key elements such as high-quality product images on the image carousel, or compelling features and details of product descriptions. And it's establishing this foundation, this solid foundation in Amazon is super important because it gives you the chance to maximize your visibility, engage with your existing and new consumers, increase sales conversion, and finally maximizing ROAS and return on investment. And in order to ensure consistency and scalability and flawless execution of our high online shelf picture of success standards, we also centralize our operations. So we already have a dedicated e-merchandising agency, which is called Liquid, that develops and executes our product e-content on the Amazon side, and we also rely on online shelf monitoring tools so that we can gauge our performance across key online shelf metrics that we identified at a global scale, and we are adjusting our strategies accordingly.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey, I think, and super happy to see all the, the results and the success stories. We've been talking a lot about AI and technology, right? And I think I'll be asking both Wasim and Marie the same question here. How do you see AI and technology continuing to shape our industry, and what are the latest innovations that we should be on the outlook for?
Well, as I said, people keep searching, so they will continue to search. But definitely now we have a new type of users. Also, the AI bots are searching. So we have humans and bots searching. So it expands the user base. But more importantly, the new experiences, and we've been testing in Google Search Labs for more than a few months now, and with very, very good results. What we call search generative experience. And it's basically the combination of Google search with generative AI. So I was telling you, search is becoming multimodal, and people are now wanting to search sometimes in a much more complex way. So imagine people searching for, I don't know, a dress that they've seen, but they wanted it in green. Now it's possible. So one of the things that we've seen is that people really enjoy this conversational experience on search. So you go on search, you search, but then you have this conversational vibe that you have on Gemini or on other LLMs. And you can refine as if you were talking to a subject matter expert. When you're in a store, you talk to the seller and he knows what he's talking about. So now you're going to be in this kind of conversation on the search result page, which means that for brands, not only is it a good experience for the users of search, but for brands, it's amazing because it's also refining the leads that we're going to then send you. So what we've seen in the experiments is that the leads are more interesting and more qualified for brands. that receive, or for retailers that receive them. But also, very interesting, is that the Gen Z are actually loving it. And they are very comfortable with it because it's the AI digital natives, right? So for them, it's normal. Like now they would expect that anyway. So what does it mean for brands? So before that, just imagine now, I was talking about all of the different ways of searching. Imagine now that you have even more ways of searching. Imagine you don't have a picture of what you want. You don't really know how to describe it. But you have in your mind an image. You can now have AI create this image for you, and from this image that was created by AI, you search, and we can try to find the closest match to what you had in mind among our 35 billion products that we have listed on Google Shopping. So, and then, you go ahead and buy it. So that's amazing. New ways of searching are going to even emerge. And for brands, what it means is that when they integrate this AI technology in their own website, and Utku was talking about this, combined with the understanding of consumer data, like they have all of this consumer data, they understand them, they can even proactively, give to the consumer a customized experience. We've been talking about customized experience for a long time, but it was very difficult to make it happen. Now it has never been easier, and the brands who get it will be really the ones that will lead the way with consumer engagement and consumer experience. They will elevate the experience, which will give leeway for more creativity in this consumer and brand experience.
That's super exciting and hard to keep up with. Wasim, are you able to top that?
Yeah, I mean, for us, AI is essential for everything we do at Amazon, and that goes beyond just ads, right? Today, as we speak, AI and technology are actually helping brands to be retail ready, to build their content listing and to optimize their actual conversations that are happening with their customers. We're seeing a major spike in image searches. We're seeing a big spike in voice searches. We actually have an amazing case study for Maggie on Alexa. It was among the first brands to leverage Alexa's capabilities in the region. So for sure, we're seeing technology and AI impacting the way we activate things, the way we optimize things, and as well the way brands and customers are engaging with each other. One of the interesting upcoming innovations to me, my personal favorite, is called Rufus. It's currently in beta in the US. And basically, it's a generative AI-powered shopping assistant. What it does is it's trained to be smart about Amazon's product catalog. It also connected to the customer reviews, to the community Q&A, and data from across the web. And it actually helps answer any questions that the customers have, whether it's about the product or a shopping experience, right? And obviously, it's all within a conversational context. So super excited to see these kind of innovations coming to the region and see how brands and customers are going to interact and engage with it.
Wow, I think, yeah, you're both keeping us on our toes. Richard, over to you. So from an agency perspective, how is technology and AI are affecting the role of the agencies, and how has Publicis been leveraging these?
Yeah, sure. So I guess that comes in two forms. One, there is the existing technology that we're getting from the platforms already. Sometimes we don't need to reinvent the wheel. There is incredible things being done by Google on the search front, especially that is going to continue to change our lives. Like my favorite thing is product listing ads. Soon they're going to have Google automatically changing the product images to create 3D models using AI, which means we need to, I guess, put multiple images in the product feed. So we've got that, to create a really engaging ad that's going to get a much better conversion rate. And plus existing technology that we've already got, such as like broad match keywords, which we kind of forget is AI focused, but a lot of our clients are still suspicious about using them, I guess, as well. So there's good reason to test it because we get really good results. So staying ahead of what is already there and also what is coming very soon, testing it, the culture of innovation that I was talking a little bit about before, I think is really important. Plus, AI campaign types such as Performance Max and things like that. As an agency, we've got things like our standard set of scripts to be able to then, get more information from those, look at the search queries, look at how we are spending for each ad type, for example, information that could be in the Google interface, but that isn't. And so yes, so that gives us more insight, and as an agency, we're then able to make decisions based on that, even if they aren't always very actionable. It still kind of starts that conversations about innovation. But of course, we've also got a lot of technology that we layer onto this as well. Embracing things like large language models. We've partnered with the largest large language model, the Arabic speaking in the region, and that helps us to automate the content creation on websites, which means as a paid search manager, I can create landing pages that are much more relevant for those particular keywords, whereas that wouldn't be worth the effort before. Now we can, and we can increase that relevancy, which increases quality score, plus converts better as well, which is the important part too. And we're using additional AI type functionality to be able to create our new ads, to be able to scale them, to be able to translate them. We're creating things like data clean rooms as well for things like Amazon, so that we can get actual genuine ROAS on a product level, which then of course impacts our keyword strategy on Amazon ads as well. So there is always a role for proprietary technology becoming our standard as well, but it helps facilitate that innovation, it helps just that automation, and gets us better results too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely made our jobs more interesting and more dynamic.
Sure.
And then finally, Utku, I know Ness is always sort of ahead of the curve, so how have you been embracing technology and AI, and how have you been unlocking the value that it really brings?
Thanks, Vanessa. I believe Nestle in general, and Nestle MENA specifically, is quite proactive and receptive in embracing new technologies. And we also understand the true value it might bring on the table. And we recognize the pivotal role, the instrumental role of technology in delivering marketing effectiveness. And by leveraging all the things, AI, machine learning, automation, and data analytics, I think we enhance our campaigns and we deliver immersive and impactful consumer communication. And this keeps us competitive and enables us to deliver I think innovative solutions in the ever-changing and ever-evolving digital landscape. So if I narrow down the scope to integrated search, I'll give 3 examples. And I think our commitment to embracing new technologies is quite evident with our drastic change to the Google modern search approach. And another example is our Ramadan partnership with Amazon. So we partner with Amazon's Alexa with our pioneering Maggi brand that we discussed a lot today, and this really helped us achieve our especially mid and lower funnel objectives. And my final example is leveraging generative AI for SEO content optimization. This also showcases, this also demonstrates that we want to stay ahead of the learning curve and that we want to stay at the forefront of these technological advancements.
Yeah, super exciting, and I think Maggie is the star of the show today. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. Any final advice to our audience?
I guess I would say AI can be a little bit scary to embrace, I suppose, because we are fundamentally giving control to an algorithm instead of what we can then see and analyze ourselves and make decisions upon. So I think the advice is embrace it. It can be a little bit disconcerting to give up control to something that is a little bit more of a black box, but I think it needs to happen. It is the future. We have shown that it does get better results, and so we are now moving away from things like account structures that mean we get the most amount of control on them so we can analyze them, handing it over to these black box type models just because they get those better results. So I guess that's the same as it's always been, right? Stay ahead of the technology, recognize that there's going to be things that you can't always control. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, cool. Marie, Richard, Wasim, Utku, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
That was a fun discussion. Thank you, Vanessa, for moderating, and thank you all of you for being on stage. That discussion reminded me of this term, this Finnish term, Astien Kuivaskapi. How many of you know what Astien Kuivaskapi is? So there's this conversation that a group of our friends had on a Saturday evening. Astien Kuivaskapi is this Finnish dish dryer that you hang over your sink. and the water drips directly into your sink rather than flowing down, right? So this friend of ours wanted to introduce Austin Cuevas-Cape to us, and he couldn't remember the name to save his life. So he tried describing it to us. And obviously, my wife being my wife, absolutely had to have it in the house. So she said, hey, Alexa, describe this to me. I'm an old school guy. I picked up my phone and typed it in. I described it into Google. I had a friend of ours who was like, oh, you guys are too old school. He's like, picked up ChatGPT and started describing one paragraph out to ChatGPT and said, this is what I'm looking for. Somebody else found a Google image and said, let's reverse this and find the term for this. I've found it fascinating that we took different routes only to find out that we don't need it. By the next weekend, all of us had dishwashers at home, right? I find this conversation extremely real. We see what's happening at the back end, but we as individuals who are self-aware are also consumers in our own right. We see this happening in our own lives. So quite interesting to see how this search and user behavior has evolved to include voice, image, ChatGPT, how we are still facing challenges, but a sophisticated search system can actually open out immense opportunities by focusing on the right use of strategies, creatives, content, bidding strategies, and amalgamating that with AI, with machine learning, with analytics. It opens up all of these opportunities for much deeper insights into consumer intent, into consumer behavior, and thus enabling them to buy things that they might not even know they need. In a way that is seamless in its UX, personalized, relevant, and effective. Next up, we have a panel on AI again, but specifically focusing on how it can help digital marketers improve performance while co-creating a future where boundaries that we know of today are gradually being pushed or even redrawn. Let's welcome on stage our moderator for the panel, Neil Pandya, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, EMEA APAC for Pixis. As Neil walks up on stage, here's a short video of Pixis.
Hello from Pixis, a purpose-built codeless AI infrastructure for growth marketers with targeting, creative, and performance capabilities. Our AI enables businesses to elevate their marketing efficiency, unlocking a minimum of 10 to 15% uplift in key performance metrics. So what makes Pixis the preferred AI suite for so many brands? That's easy. Pixis fits into your tech stack easily, enabling immediate implementation and activation. Our powerful cross-platform features allow continuous monitoring and optimization from a single dashboard. Our robust generative AI suite that enables rapid creation of ad variants customized to each AI-powered audience cohort. And always-on AI learns from all your data points to ensure the best results delivered within 6 weeks. Here's how Pixis helped Kavak decrease their cost per booking by 34%. Targeting AI features, high-intent audience identification and expansion, real-time optimization with automated keyword inclusion, AI-powered audience segmentation, creative AI features, creative variants and copy generator to appeal to every audience cohort, 2.5D visual generator to revamp best-performing creatives, performance AI features, cross-platform bid and budget allocator, cross-platform performance monitoring and optimization, identification of seasonality-based trends. As promised, Kavak observed a performance uplift within 6 weeks of deploying Pixis. Ready to augment your team's potential with AI? Schedule a demo now.
Good morning, everyone. I think there was almost 50 plus at a frequency the AI word was used. So if your phone is listening right now, please accept some ads, sponsored ads around AI, which is going to happen today. But having said that, firstly, congratulate, Motivate for 45 years. Last 3 years, I've been into Campaign Breakfast. The only constant factor was Nadeem. There are 3 editors have been changed. Anup, I hope I see you in the next feature as well. But yes, I'm going to keep it short because of 2 reasons. One, Nadeem has told me at frequency of 20 plus that you have 30 minutes, so don't go beyond that. And 2, the interesting one, which is that I have an excellent panel, which when we did a dry run yesterday, we took 45 minutes. So I'm 100% sure it's going to be a difficult job for me to control 30 minutes discussion. But having said that, let me just set some context about AI, then we'll move directly. I'll skip this. You saw in our video, so I'm not going to talk about it at all. What brings us here today? Definitely the panel discussion. I have interesting panelists, but if you feel you guys are least interested in what we are talking, then please scan the QR code on the table. There's a PS5 as well, which we're going to give it away. So hope that does the job. Let me take 3 minutes only to set the context about some myths about AI, how AI can help digital marketers. I mean, there are a lot of myths. The biggest myth is AI will replace humans. Ask me, no, it will never do that. The only thing which I tell always to everyone who comes back to me that question is that humans with AI experience will have an upper edge with humans who do not have AI experience. So that could be the only reason. AI is expensive. No, I have some client and some agency guys on the panel who are going to speak about it. AI takes time to integrate. We do it in less than 30 minutes. AI is a black box. No, we are 100% transparent. So there's some myths about AI. I think I double-clicked it. Yes. Just for 30 seconds, the innovation in AI. I'm going to start from 4th to the 1st. I think someone said in the morning that, LM models, some of the clients globally are scared that, I don't want to use AI because of privacy. I don't know where the data is going on which cloud. Can I do LLMs in-house? So Pixis has recently launched on-premise LLMs, where if you are scared about your data going anywhere, we're going to ensure we give you data scientists, GPUs in your headquarters, and you can build LLMs in your own ecosystem and use for your organization. Quickly, 3 more things. The 2 ads which I'm going to show you right now is 100% AI generated. Look at it, and then we'll have a clue on that. I was not supposed to play the Guinness one, but someone in the room told me that you have to play that ad. The second one is Adidas. So a little about future in AI. The only input which has gone into creation of these ads is obviously the brand images, the brand guidelines, and all of that thing, and it's text to output. So there was a text summary given to my engine, and the output was here in the form which you saw it. Next big thing, or the next innovation in AI is legends. So basically, celebrity endorsement is becoming really important for a lot of brands. What we have launched recently is AI in celebrity endorsement. So look at the video, and then I'll quickly tell you what it is. Okay, I think there's no ad, so I'll speak for it. So imagine L'Oreal. I think L'Oreal is also doing something on this Florisel, and I'm an ex-L'Oreal, so I can take the little liberty of that. L'Oreal wants to hire Zoe Saldana. So what L'Oreal need to do can pick up their pack shots and everything, pick Zoe Saldana's imageries, and on a click of a button, you can have all the detailed imagery of Zoe Saldana. You can edit that and publish it. You saw it said that 48 hours it will take to create this. We created it in 5 minutes. It takes 47 hours, 55 minutes to take approval from the celebrities before it goes online for that. So that's new innovation. So that's second. And lastly, which we are doing it is, how can AI help to make marketers' life easier? So imagine a situation where you have a model, where you tell the model that, hey, Prism, Can you create a Nestle plan with 1 million of budget in MENA region with XYZ creators? It has an opportunity to do that, and that's what Prism is all about. We're trying to build something which to make marketers' life easier. I'm not going to play this because Nadeem will kill me. So let me directly jump to the panel which I'm here for. I have a very interesting panel. I'm going to call each one of them on stage first. Let me call Ravi first. These all images are AI generated. Sorry if they look a little different. Then Ravi keeps telling me that he is the youngest one in the room. So Ravi, this one is generated with that background. All of you know Ravi. Ravi is an ex-Group M, and he's now heading or is a founder of a very interesting VC called TurboStart. Let me call Viral now. Someone says client is a king or a queen, so Viral, don't kill me if I say this again and again, but Viral is right. As an ex-agency guy and right now heading media for Stellantis. Chris, if you can come on board. Chris is CDO OMG, a partner in crime for a lot of innovations we have been doing together. I would like to call Wasim on stage. Wasim, are you on stage? Okay, Wasim is here. Yeah, I just saw you yesterday, which was with a different look, or else I've done that. So Wasim, as an ex-agency guy again, currently running a beautiful company, Platformance, and heading it for the last 2 years, the youngest young company growing really fast. And Tamer, last but not the least, Tamer is a Googler for life. I would say he's spent 15 years of his career at Google and now has started an organization which is on digital minds and that. So that's a beautiful panel. And guys, Ravi has been telling me again and again that we're going to keep this engaging. We're going to keep this more fun. So what we'll try and do is I'll start, I mean, without introductions to everyone. A simple question. Let's keep it short, as Ravi has mentioned that. And Ravi, sorry, I'm using your name at frequency of 4+. First question, do you guys use AI? Yes or no? And if yes, and if no, what is the one benefit you see out of AI? And Viral, do you want to start with?
Well, yes, AI is definitely the backbone. There's not one benefit, so that's going to take longer. So I'll wait for my turn.
I think we would be doing a disservice to the industry if we don't use an AI tool in any capacity. So yes, the short answer is that we use AI across different facets of our organization.
Awesome. Chris?
We do. And a plug, we also use Pixis.
That was not plugged in at all. Thank you so much, Chris. Ravi?
Damn, I do. And I think I want to give another example, right? After years out in the industry, when I had specialists who could actually do things, I had to create a research proposal for someone. And it took me 5 minutes to entirely present the entire research proposal because it was 1 minute of Q&A, 4 minutes of tweaking it, and it was done, voila. But I also dabble in something else. I deal with a lot of tech startups in AI. Nobody uses the word AI anymore. It's funny. Because AI is there in all B2B tech startups that really come across. But I also deal with a lot of deep tech companies, and I think there is a tremendous opportunity for marketers and agencies to actually capitalize it. So yes, it's an incredible story.
Awesome. Tamer?
Yeah, for me, yes, of course. For a young company like Digital Rocket, I need any technology that will help me drive efficiency. So I have a lot of assistants. Creative assistants, virtual assistants to help me navigate my day-to-day job. And even my wife is telling me you have a lot of assistants. So, but definitely AI is helping me a lot when it comes to creating anything related to my job today.
Perfect. So 5 on 5 on yes. Let me start with Viral first. He always tells me don't put me into spot, but I've been a client and I've been on the agency side as well. There's a terminology which has been told client is a king or queen, so I'm starting with you for that reason. Sorry, but Viral, you have seen the side from both the side. You were in Group M earlier. You're right now heading Stellantis Media. I'm a great fan of Stellantis because you guys do a lot of innovation. Don't tell me to choose which car I like, but if you ask me, the classic Jeep is my example, and I love to use that one always. But Viral, apart from innovation into cars, do you guys use AI, and how do you want to just share some light around that?
Yes, definitely. And firstly, like my name says, my job is to make all of the great brands go viral at Stellantis. But no, I mean, in terms of AI, firstly, it's a diverse lineup, right? You have your muscle cars with the Dodge Ram on one side. You have the likes of Jeep, Wrangler being on the adventure side, and then within Jeep you have Grand Wagoneer, which is on the luxury side, and then the comfort lineup with Peugeot and the European brands. Now, Stellantis as a group has definitely been at the forefront when it comes to AI. Been early adopters. I wouldn't say we've stopped exploring because sky is the limit when it comes to AI, but yes, a lot of projects have been in the deployment phase. When I mention these projects, a lot of assembly lines and plants are implementing AI and automating stuff. Today, with Amazon, we've collaborated and we are trying to enhance the in-car customer experience as well through something called Stella Brain and Stella Cockpit that essentially elevates the whole experience and enhances the software and customizes it as well for the customer. In terms of, let's say, if we are talking about retail, it's more driven towards navigation and audio controls. For the fleet or the commercial lineup, there is an added advantage of say, something like a task list that shows up on the infotainment screens. So yeah, I mean, that's the direction that we are taking, and the goal there forward, 2030 goal for Stellantis is to have at least 34 million connected cars on ground, which is a stiff ask. But yeah, I mean, that is how we've evolved as a group. When it comes to marketing, honestly, it's a given that AI has to be incorporated because the assumption is that it's relatively easier to incorporate AI when it comes to marketing, everything for the full funnel, right? So you talk about research and insights, any kind of predictive modeling that happens via, say, something like an Einstein AI within Salesforce, creative AI, like you just mentioned, gathering the leads through performance AI, through and then kind of nurturing these leads, lead scoring mechanisms to then grade the customers based on engagement. After the lead has come in, that is when the real business side of things start, right? Like I was very happy back in the day just delivering the leads, delivering an efficient CPL, but now it starts with that, like once the lead is in, how do we qualify that? How do we leverage GenAI for the contact centers to automate their scripts based on users' history with us? Then go down the funnel to test drive and sales. It doesn't end with the sale for us. It's because that is where the after sales comes in and have their own chatbots, following up for service and parts reminders. So AI typically is stitching both from a customer acquisition as well as customer journey for us today. So it's a full.
Makes sense. I mean, I was so impressed that you mentioned apart from the marketing use of AI, how Stellantis is using AI on non-marketing stuff as well, creating cars, e-cars and other stuff. Ravi, I'll come to you. You have been a veteran in media leadership as well. I'll take that aside, but right now in your new role, which you're leading a VC for young founders into tech and others, what's your experience with these young founders? Are they typical engineers, techies, using their own in-house system, or how are they using artificial intelligence overall?
So I think the sector that I focus upon, clearly everybody is using AI. AI is very much embedded into its place, right? The biggest challenge that the techies find in this region is who will fund me? And two, how can I go to agencies to ensure that my product is used? And they find it extremely tough to enter. And I have been the culprit on the other side to know what made me stop getting some of these tech startups to actually get on board. But I realized there are so many real advantages, and I would actually recommend every single agency to look at. Don't spend too much money, but just give an opportunity to test it out, and I think you will find amazing results, right? Even as simple as budget allocation across platforms, there are so many companies and people don't capitalize on it. Yeah. I think it's a very interesting way to do it. But more importantly, I would say something else. If you as an individual do not use any of the generative AIs on your own, you are going to be only talking definitions and theory, and you never get to use it. What I find in the agency ecosystem is there is almost now a much larger percentage, let's say 1/3 of the employees in an agency are actually touching, feeling, innovating, trying anything to do with new AI products and services. But the vast majority have no clue. They all want to see the PowerPoint, they talk about it, they don't do anything on their own. I will tell you something. If you don't do it and you don't practice it yourself, you're never going to get the right answer. Last thing, the human interference in AI. You won't lose a job, as what you mentioned earlier, as long as you do it. For example, try searching on Google. When John Wilkes Booth shot dead Abraham Lincoln and he was lying on his deathbed, what was the painting that was lying on his wall behind him? You will still find, you would say, this is a crazy question. You will get one answer. No. Even in Google, you get 100 answers, right? Now, the intelligence is for you to figure out what is the real relevant one you need to cross-check. I would urge you to please dabble with AI tools that is available within your agency ecosystem, and you will find a dramatic difference.
Perfect. Having said agency multiple times, I was just going to come to you. Sorry, Wasim, go ahead.
No, I think I just want to build upon what Ravi is mentioning, because what Ravi is alluding towards is a very, very pressing topic that the industry is faced with. If you look at the size of the industry, we're looking at about $8 billion as per last IAB report, of which we know $6.2 billion. We know that there is a big chunk of that money that sits within the agency ecosystem. And having spent time on one of the agencies, we can clearly see that there's a real challenge to drive adoption of new entrants into the marketplace. And therefore, and I speak on behalf of Thamar as well, and I've seen it firsthand at Platformance, that no matter what, it becomes relatively difficult to drive adoption of a new solution in the marketplace. And I think this is, again, a collective responsibility that we share as an industry when you see a new founder and entrepreneur that's investing in a solution that probably solves a problem big enough for you in terms of lead generation, but then there needs to be greater emphasis on building those POCs across the board before you talk about adoption. And I think I see that as a challenge that the industry is faced with. And when you look at it from a client adoption point of view, and a lot of the advertisers that we work with in Saudi, you see that there's a lot more courage that comes behind testing of new solutions. And therefore, the digital natives, the new generation of advertisers, are probably driving adoption of AI much faster than some of the other folks.
Makes sense. I think I've heard, I have two twist answers to this. I think one side, which Ravi and Wasim, you're mentioning about the industry is big and people should or shouldn't use or are not using it right now. I'll go to Chris. I think, Chris, we have been speaking so much about innovation at OMG and a couple of other things. What do you think, where is the industry going? At OMG, what do you guys are building in terms of AI product, and how is it adding value to the client or yourself as an agency as well? A lot of questions, you can come down.
Look, I'm always really hesitant to ask, to answer questions about where's it going.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason behind that, which is, everyone in the room is a marketer. We're not on the cold front building the technology. And you have to be humble and say, I just don't know, I'm not the expert here. Even people who are on the cold face and actually building the tech we use, they don't know. A role of a marketer, and my role is to say, here's the current technology, what's the current use case? It was funny, we're talking about the inaccuracy of a ChatGPT answer. And when I first started using, I thought, God, this is really oddly familiar, these kinds of questions that have a lot of authority behind them. And I was like, where have I seen this before? Oh, it's from everyone who works in marketing when you ask them a question. They come across as being very authoritative, they'll give you lots of predictions about the future, and it's complete and utter BS. So I'm not going to answer that question, where is it going? But I can talk to you about current state, how to use it, and use cases, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
We as an agency, everyone in the room has been using AI for a very, very, very long time. It's just in the last 2 years, because of generative AI, that it's become, a big hot topic. Generative AI was a big, big leap of what we had before. But especially people who work in digital, have been using, and we have, on the back end, been using technology that have had AI in the back end for a very, very, very long time. And anyone who's used any kind of bidding system, there's an algorithm. That's a form of machine learning. What really changed was the generative piece. But when people talk about AI, I think these are two really, really different types of technology, and the use case, and I said I want to talk about use cases. The use cases for each are vastly different.
Yep.
But we conflate them all under kind of one umbrella and what they do. So, I work in media, and my job is basically connecting the pipes. What comes down the pipe is the creative piece. That's the bit that, generative AI is really, really changing. So if you work in production or content creation, there's tons and tons of great use cases. There was an amazing talk that ABG and Maria hosted about a month ago, where Alex Bernori, who's at G42 now, he did an incredible presentation all about how GenAI is changing creative production, and he did this cool thing where he showed, here's an ad for BMW. This would have taken 6 months to create before. I did it as just an exercise 2 days ago. But in media, most of the applications of, in media, what are we doing? We want insights, we want to help with planning, and then with buying. When it comes to planning and buying, most of the AI that we're using today is the same AI we were using 3-4 years ago. It's the same type of underlying technology. The insights bit has changed, though. So that's been really interesting. So I can only talk from an Omnicom point of view. We have a platform called Omni, which your technology fuels a lot of the back end when it comes to the buying side. But on the insight side, it was really interesting. So we struck a deal with OpenAI about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And the applications and use cases for that haven't necessarily been in the planning or the buying, because it's the wrong type of AI. What it's really helped with, though, is it's put GenAI assistance in the hands of our planners. So now they can log into Omni, and in the insights part of the planning phase, they can ask it questions.
Yep.
And it will output really, really interesting insights that help with the next stage of the planning process. So two really different forms of AI, both within Omni, but for very, very different things. So your tech, that we use it predominantly for some elements of search planning, but a lot of it is on the targeting and bidding piece. Yep. That uses an old form of AI, not an old form, but it's a type of AI that's really, really good at accurate prediction.
Yep.
ChatGPT is not particularly good at accurate prediction, so we don't use it for that.
I think, Tamer, you have spoken least till now, so let me come to you now. But Chris, thank you on the two pieces which you said about the creative angle and the media planning angle, and I'm totally aligned with you. I'm not going to ask you what's the future in turn, because all of us are still learning where we are going in that direction as well. Tamer, you have, we have Google in the room as well. You worked for Google for 15 years in your previous avatar. And all of us know that all of the platform, Google, Amazon, Meta, all of that are own AIs, as well as a base AI, which is helping marketers, planners to optimize things. Double question to you. One, in your previous avatar, how do you see artificial intelligence overall growing and keeping the match? And in your new avatar, at a co-founder of a young digital tech company, where do you see you're going to merge two of them together?
So I was fortunate enough to work at Google for almost more than 13 years, and I honestly have seen the company transforming to become really a first AI company in the last couple of years, and we've seen really how strong their products became very AI-driven. You name them, including smart bidding, dynamic creative, real-time optimization from bid and budget management. Even products like, for example, PMax or Demand Gen, you don't need any human interaction, and everything is being done by AI. And we've seen really how the performance is being enhanced on the campaigns of our customers. So we've seen that for sure. I agree with you that the digital platforms are really leveraging AI properly well. But based on my experience, I also feel that there are some limitations, and there are still a lot of pain points for marketeers, where I believe the other AI platform can step in and complement what the other digital natives are doing. So let me give you an example. Today, Google or Meta or any platform is doing properly well bid and budget management in their own ecosystem. But imagine if you zoom out and you have an AI platform that really cross-platform integrate across every single platform like TikTok, Meta, Snapchat, and automatically help marketeer to manage all campaigns from one single dashboard. This really seamlessly help marketeer to drive efficiency. It will take him or her quick decision on making any decision on the campaign. But also these platforms have the power to do cross-platform optimization, not only from one campaign to another, but also from one platform to another, which is really kind of a breakthrough on optimizing any campaign, because the AI will get more insight from different platforms and will be able to do proper budgeting planning, forecasting, and so on and so forth. Another key example that I believe it's a key pain point for marketeers have been every single platform create their own insights based on their own data, but this is their own ecosystem like Google or Meta. And marketeers have also so many other data like third-party, social media, and so on. So it's becoming overwhelming for any marketeer how to leverage that and how to action on them. Yeah. So these AI platform like Digital Mind is one key solution where it digests all data sources seamlessly and really analyze them and start to come up with great deep insights on a single dashboard that help marketeer to take informed decisions on their existing or future campaigns. Yeah. And these insights are really deep from an audience or targeting or even creative, which tone of voice, which color, which message, which cohorts that should be targeting, and so on. So I would say that, back to your points, while definitely digital native platforms are very strong, complementing these new AI platforms like Digital Mind is a kind of a solution for marketeers to drive better optimization, campaign management across their business.
I think in very interesting part about the cross-platform. I think Nadeem keeps staring me from there, so I'll quickly switch into 2-3 other things. Wasim, for you, I think we have been hearing, as a marketer, I've been hearing for years, an agency guy, there's a 2 norms grid, right? Effectiveness and efficiency, which is, and you've been leading or interacting with more than 100 D2C plus performance kind of a guy. Where do you see AI plays a role, or without an AI also, on the effective side and the efficient side in the entire grid as well?
Yeah, so as a business, we position ourselves as an aggregator of third-party marketing platforms, right? So I think we've already established that the baseline for continued optimization of AI tools will continue to happen, right? But if there is one sort of North Star that hasn't changed over the decades, is the need to grow business bottom line, right? How do we continue to remain obsessed with delivering on metrics that matter the most? And for us, we believe that the application of AI needs to be contextualized to our mandate to our advertisers, right? And when you look at efficiency and effectiveness, we don't want to talk about productivity and how that has an upside in terms of improvements in processes and so on. But I see that when you look at the implication on efficiency metrics, because that's what we care about, that has a direct correlation to business metrics, we see this improvement loop coming through across the board, whether individually within the platforms or collectively across platforms, because a lot of the needs of the marketeers haven't changed, right? They still want to see the singular view of the consumer. They still want to see the correlation between one platform to another platform. And therefore, for us, whether we use one AI tool or 10 different AI tools, the question really starts why, and how does it impact against the metrics that matter the most to advertisers?
Makes sense. Veeral, coming to you, I've heard a lot of time when I go to market and interact with 50 or 100 plus clients. One common question which comes to me is that AI is an added cost. I'm paying to my agency, I'm paying to platforms for something like that. Why should I add another AI angle and pay you from that perspective? You've been using artificial intelligence of platforms, agencies, multiple other stuff. What is your point of view on that? Do you look at AI as one standalone additional cost, or is there long-term value to it as well?
I think so. Consistency and sustaining it in the long term would be the key. Why I would say this is 2 aspects. So while I said that we have multiple brands within the group, I can have a very beautiful media plan defining all the personas for each of the brands. But deep down, as marketers, we all know when it comes to implementing these on the social channels or digital channels, there are bound to be some overlaps because the same customer is having multiple interests. So that is a challenge. So how do we navigate through that? Cross-platform bidding and optimization is one solution, definitely. So that is something that we need to check. And when it comes to evaluating the actual benefit of AI, right? So typically the question that we get asked is, what is the kind of ROI that you're going to generate in the long term? So the markets, I mean, the maturity is there in terms of, what KPIs are being expected. Now, gone are the days when we used to walk into meetings with presenting vanity metrics. Now it is more on, let's say, cost per qualified lead is my favorite because it kind of balances the efficiency and the volume aspect as well. So I think things like these, and then the onus is on us. How do we feed in and equip the AI and empower it? So let's say last year, if we were relying on a Meta Pixel to enhance and drive better audience cohorts, this year it is more on conversion API and the segments that go in from the CDP. So all in all, I would go with the LTV option. It becomes easier to justify because it is a semi-long-term game. It is not, we've all been guilty about seeing good results in the first 90 days, and then that is when the real challenge starts, right? Like when you enter that competitive in-market pool of audiences, which a lot of competition is after, that is where things get tougher. So yeah, LTV would be
Viral,
choice.
I would just build on a little bit of what you said, right? What if you find that you're able to get 10% more sales for a marketer, and you have to pay 5% incremental cost to get it done? What stops you from doing it? Because at the end, as a marketer, I'm able to generate the incremental sales that I am looking for. That's my core business goal, that I want to grow my business, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one. The second area that I'm missing a point in media is the fact the power of creative and content and the messaging, sometimes we forget. And I would say there are so many tools still available, whether you can do campaign benchmarking even before you release the ads. Yeah. Everyone knows, everyone has it in the back end somewhere, nobody does it. And I keep saying, what the hell is wrong? Because a little tweak in your messaging can make a dramatic difference in the performance numbers. Sorry.
True, absolutely. I mean, tweaks like us, let me give you an example. So if there was a lead gen form, which is our favorite, right? Like that makes getting leads easier for us. Typically, we've made it of a bit more higher intent for the customer to fill in, where the customer has to choose the showroom when he or she is planning to purchase the car, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. This gives a good window for the contact center to then, speak to them accordingly. So elements like these to then make it slightly tougher and then improve the quality as well. But yes, bang on, like as long as the P&L is sorted and we have the sales coming in, there's no reason for us. But when and how long is it able to sustain? That is the only question that we have. So,
Low ROI is negatively correlated with business growth. If your agency is dropping your ROI, fire them. Why? They're going for easy wins. Efficiency and effectiveness are negatively correlated. In advertising, we measure conversions month by month. I can drop your ROI by 50% tomorrow. Why? How? I'll just remove your generic search terms. We all know this. This is a game we play in the industry, and it has to stop. Long-term growth comes from marketing to both present and future buyers of your category, right? The problem is, as a marketer and an agency, I get bonused and paid based on the results I deliver today. There are many things in life which you can do today which are beneficial, but which are bad for you long-term.
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette gives you a nice little hit. In 20 years, you die. In marketing, it's the same. I dropped your ROAS. In 5 years from now, your brand has died. Why? To Ravi's point, I was focusing on those short-term hits. that look like they were positive, but they're actually negative in the long term. Why? Because we've been going for easy buckets as a marketer. Oh, look, boss, I dropped my ROI. Yeah, but what about the stuff that you measure on the long term, right?
Yeah.
How is your brand health tracker show? What's happening with your brand health tracking? Is your penetration increasing? These are not things that are measured on Google Analytics, but we know are right. However, CMOs find it really hard to stay in their job for more than 2 and 3 years. These are long-term effects. The companies that have really good CMOs or companies that trust their CMO, and when marketing is high up in the organization, they're marketing-first organizations, they know this stuff. And I see it from conversations with different clients who really understand that. And I say ROI is a vanity. It's not a vanity metric, it's a dangerous metric. We all know this in the room. It's no different to cookie bombing, just bidding on brand terms, going for the short-term easy win. It's the biggest problem I see in our region. When you follow trade press from around the world, the discussion that you have here versus the rest of the world, it's just out of kilter. I'm not sure what the reason is, but when you meet marketers from other markets that are, who understand this, you have these really interesting conversations about really complex problems where it's, they understand that there are certain things in life that are true, but they're counterintuitive. Here we don't do that as much, and it's a problem.
Yeah, but thanks, Chris. I think there were a lot of things which you said, which we were eager to say it, but we couldn't verbally have said that thing. But thank you for that perspective at all. This sign sometimes says that you have to pack, and Nadeem has done that 4 times since the time I'm seeing him. But Nadeem, I'll take 1 more minute. You have a beautiful panel on the stage, guys. There's client, there are agency folks, there are co-founders. If you have any questions, please ask them. If you don't have questions right now, we are there outside for a catch-up as well. Please ask us there.
Campaign, and we will answer.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Scan the campaign QR code. Any questions, guys, to any one of us? Awesome. Thank you so much, each one of you. I had my... Thank you. Yep. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. It's been great having all of you here today. It's been a couple of great panels, great discussions, lots of very, very interesting insights. Before we conclude, a special word of thanks to our sponsors and partners as well, our gold sponsors, MIQ Pixis and Publishers Group, and our associate sponsor, Shale. Before we conclude, yes, we're going to have that PS5 giveaway and the 65-inch TV. To announce the winner of that smart TV, let's have Wasim back on stage. Wasim, are you with us here? Wonderful. Wasim, welcome Wasim back on stage, Managing Director of MIQ Minat. Thank you for your opening speech. And now we have a certificate as well. How about that? You get a PS5 and a certificate.
The idea, we can't give you a TV here, so happy to announce the winner is Serena Sestra. Do we have a Serena Sestra? You know Serena? We'll give it to her. Yeah.
Thank you, Wasim. So if anybody knows Serena, you're Serena? Oh, yeah, we got Serena here. Come.
Oh, in the middle. Oh, we need to take pictures.
65-inch smart TV to Serena. Wonderful. Next, we have a PS5 that we're going to give out. We're going to have Pixis Neil Pandya back on stage. Neil, do we know who the winner is? Oh, there is an actual PS5 in a box. Well, there you go. This is going to get very interesting very soon. Over to you, Neil.
I think Anup wanted to win this for the longest time, but I don't know, Sarina, you said that you have never won anything in the history. I don't know, what did you see in the morning, whose face, or what did you eat today? You have won PS5 as well. And when Wasim answered that, and I was like, how on earth that can happen? But yes, you are the one who has won PS5 as well. Anup, sorry for...
Now you have a TV to play that PS5 on. Well, this is the best. Serena, can we have you back on stage, please? Congratulations on the double whammy. What were the chances? Yeah, the quota of luck for this year is done. Well done, Serena, for winning the PS5 and the smart TV. Well done. And that's a wrap on this edition of Campaign Breakfast Briefing. The floor is open to networking, meet and greets, so feel free to keep the discussions flowing. Thank you all once again for joining us here today.